We've probably all seen the incredibly powerful films from Spike Lee and have been blown away by the directorial brilliance of Jordan Peele. We've all been struck by the chaotic brilliance of Jean-Michel Basquiat's paintings, and I think it's safe to say that we've all jammed to Beyonce's Lemonade far too many times. It's undeniable that we have this incredible blessing to be so consistently inspired by and surrounded by so many amazing artists of color. We have Instagram in our pocket. We can kind of go on the internet and see any painting all over the world at any time we want. There's so much good art that's readily available at all times. But what about the Black artists that you've probably never heard of before? During my time at CalArts, I've been so lucky to meet so many amazing Black artists and artists of color, and they're only just starting their careers. They're all either just out of school or were just finishing school when I met them, and it would be my honor to introduce you to some of them today. Before I get started, I just wanted to mention that I have a story highlight on my Instagram as well as a card link in my description bio thing that has a ton of resources regarding petitions that need signatures, funds that need donations, etiquette when you're at protests, how to be an appropriate and responsible ally. Black Lives Matter. Thank you for watching. Okay, here we go. The first artist I want to talk to you about is Adrienne Turner, who goes by his stage name BLUDWORK. BLUDWORK is a musician and live performance artist that is originally from Georgia, but I think he's out here in Los Angeles now, and his music is really unique. I've never really heard anything like it before. I would say that overall his tracks sort of fall under an experimental electronic vibe, but there are so many inspirational elements coming from R&B and from like a deep house, sort of bass heavy type of vibe. There's always these like super heavy, buzzing, deep bass lines that are just blended in with these really smooth, like ooey gooey synths. And all of his lyricism just kind of tops it right on top. Super elegant, super chill.
I get a feeling in my stomach that I never had before, and I want more. Resurrected from beyond just to even up the score.
Another thing that I do love about BLUDWORK is that he's such like a one-man show. I've seen him live. He performed at school a couple times. He has this like excellent way of combining like the actual musical performance with the visual performance and the live performance. Everything has this like excellent like meshing aesthetic. All of his music videos are like top-notch, super professional, and they really add this like totally whole element to everything that you're experiencing. It's a very well-rounded artist. I'm always impressed by his work.
I think one day you'll see, yeah, this ain't the way that it had to be.
I had all this footage where I was talking about BLUDWORK's socials and it all seemed to disappear, but I want to mention now that he has a new album out. It's called Immolator, and you can support him on Bandcamp directly, but you can also stream his music on Spotify and Apple Music. Check it out.
BLUDWORK is on Instagram and Twitter. I'll leave all of his socials down below so you can go hit him up and tell him how great he is. Next up on my list is KESIAH MANIVAL. She is a filmmaker, director, production designer, originally from Oregon, and now she's out here in Los Angeles as well. She has never not inspired me. She is incredible. I knew about her before I came to CalArts. Seeing someone work the way she did was like, I want to make work like her. Her details are incredible. There's like no other word for it. She mainly works in stop motion, but she's a photographer and a live action filmmaker and cinematographer, and every medium that she's working in, you can tell that she is meticulous. Every little thing is so valuable to the whole process for her and making sure that the work is as best as it can be. She never skimps on a detail, not ever. Everything she does just kind of like drips with this elegance and charm, and it's all so perfectly designed. Currently she's working on her thesis film that's called With Love Escargot. It's about two friends that meet off the Oregon coast, and as their relationship kind of starts to get a little weird and conflicts start to arise, they notice that the nature surrounding them and the ocean and the town all start to mirror and mimic their challenges with one another. So as they start to fight, a storm is like brewing above them, which forces them to come together and like reconcile their differences. Really beautiful. You can access all information, behind the scenes, everything on her website. She had a Kickstarter for the film, and she consistently posts progress photos on her Instagram as well. It's definitely worth it to go on her Instagram and check out these behind the scenes photos. She's so good. It drives me nuts. All of her socials will be linked down below. Up next, we have Anna Smith. Anna is an illustrator and a painter from New York. She's based in New York right now. It's amazing the type of eye she has for textures and for colors. You'll look at her drawings and think like, never in a million years would I think all of those colors would go together, but they do, and it's beautiful. Recently on Instagram, she's also started to make jewelry, sort of like ceramic earrings that she paints on, and I think her style bodes perfectly for that type of work. It's so cute. She sells them every so often on Instagram. The thing that I like about her subjects in her drawings is it's so like imaginative and surreal, and it has this element of like, you had a dream and you woke up and you couldn't remember what happened, but she like went in your head and took it out with all of its vividness, with all of its craziness. She maintains this like really interesting abstraction of shapes and characters. I'm just awe-inspired by her. I think she's amazing. She occasionally sells jewelry, but you can also support her through her Society 6 page, which I'll have linked down below, and you can follow her on Instagram and Twitter. Alright, so up next we have Courtney Coles. Courtney is a photographer from Southern California. I've always been inspired by her work. She was sort of like famous at school for this amazing, consistent, like ongoing project she was doing with photo booth strips, where she was taking one photo booth strip a month of herself, and she's been doing that for 7 years. So she has this incredible collection. Like, it's amazing, and it's really quite beautiful how personal and intimate they all feel when you're in a space that isn't her home. Like, she kind of just goes into these places and uses the photo booths, but it really feels like you're there with her and kind of experiencing that moment in time with her. All throughout the photo booth strips, you can see times where she's really emotional, you can see times where she's on crutches and she's hurt, and other times where she's smiling with friends. It's kind of amazing. Like, first of all, just the consistency I wish I had, but it's really incredible to look through it all. She's also the co-founder of a traveling photo show called To the Front, which is specifically meant for non-binary and female photographers to showcase their work. And all of the proceeds that they make from the prints that they sell and from like snacks at the snack bar, they donate to different causes. They've already donated to Everyone is Gay, they've donated to the Toronto Rape Crisis Center. Really, really amazing. And they've been waiting for everything with you know what to kind of cool down and for things to start opening again so they can start getting back on the road. One of my favorite series from her, other than the photo booth one, is her series called Mama. The spaces that she captures with her mother in the frame are so cozy and intimate, and I've never stepped in this house before, I don't know anything about it, but from the photos you can really just feel the home, you can feel the love, you can feel the, you can feel the time spent in there. I really do love those photos. She's on Instagram and Twitter, and she has a website where you can contact her if you have any commission inquiries. And additionally, she has a website for To the Front where you can check their calendar once they start going on tour again. You can check them out wherever city they are. Okay, next I want to talk about Kiki Green, who is a filmmaker and visual artist. I think originally from New York, but she's in Los Angeles now. I don't even know what to say about Kiki's work that would do it justice. I think so much of it is the power that it holds when you see it for the first time. I originally know her, the first work that I've seen from her was her collage and visual work when she first came to CalArts. Really simple, but incredibly striking. The themes of her work, whether it's in her movies or in her still work, usually revolve around mental illness and medication, sexuality, and racism in America. And I think especially her work revolving around racism is like a gut punch. It is so stark. When you look at it, it's no nonsense. It doesn't beat around the bush. It's just, it feels like whiplash when you're looking at it. It's really quite incredible the way that she can capture something incredibly serious in almost a casual way. It has this very stark and abrasive energy which matches really well with her kind of frenetic and chaotic sensibilities with animation and with the collage. I think her work is incredible. And she actually just founded an artist showcase called Chiaroscura, which is dedicated to showcasing artists of all types that are BIPOC. It looks like Chiaroscura was just started, so they have a donation button on their website, so if you want to support her, you can go to chiaroscura.com. Additionally, she's on Instagram, and you can check out all of her collage work on there as well. I want to talk to you about Victoria Vincent. She goes by VEWN, on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere. She's an animator and a filmmaker from Los Angeles, and I don't really have the words to describe how inspiring her work is to me. On a more personal note, like, I've always struggled with storytelling, and I feel like I don't have anything interesting to write a movie about, and there are so many other people that have these like incredible stories to tell, and she kind of taught me that like you can make movies about really simple things and they are powerful and meaningful. I think the first film that I saw from her was about her first part-time job working at like a pizza place and making pizza.
Making pizza definitely saved my life. I used to be so depressed I couldn't get out of bed, but when I started making pizza, everything changed for me. When you're young, it's easy to think that life is completely meaningless, but now my existence is truly fulfilling.
My favorite thing about Victoria's work is that you go into the comments on her YouTube videos and there are people all over the place who are trying to find the themes and the meanings behind her work. And whenever I kind of think like that, I just feel stupid because I know that she's thinking about something that I can't even come close to understanding. She is a fucking genius. Her style is amazing, and she has this way of world building that is so impressive. From film to film to film, you feel like you're within the same world, just meeting different strange characters in their lives. And everything has this kind of like morbid energy where there's like a facade in front of every character and then something kind of darker hiding behind them. Her visual style feels like sort of like 90s anime and manga, but if Y2K happened and it all just kind of like got squished into the void and the whole world turned into a black hole. I really can't say enough good things about it. She's incredibly unique and really amazing, and she's inspired me for a really long time. She has a Patreon that you can support her on. She has a YouTube channel where she posts all of her films. She's on Instagram, and she has a website where she sells merch, prints and shirts and things like that. So you really need to check her out, 100%. So that's everybody I had written down. But actually, just this morning, I found another artist on Instagram that I did want to tell you guys about because I thought this work was really beautiful and powerful. Adrienne Branden recently did a series of portraits of Black individuals that have been killed by the police, and he does these line drawings in pencil and begins to color in the portraits, but he only colors them in for as many minutes as they lived by years. So for example, for his Breonna Taylor portrait, she was killed at 26. He only painted her for 26 minutes. And there are a million of these. You have George Floyd, Jordan Edwards, Tony McDade, Gregory Gunn, Jamil Robertson, Sandra Bland, and they're all varying levels of incomplete. Obviously to represent their incomplete life. Their life got cut short. I only just saw them this morning and I thought they were really powerful, so I wanted to show them to you. I'll link his Instagram, and if he has any other socials, I'll put them down below as well. But that's everybody I wanted to talk about today. That's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. Always remember to support and look after your BIPOC friends. They need you right now. Remind them how much they mean to you and how much of a stamp that their lives are making on this world. They are important and their lives matter. Keep making art, and I'll see you guys next week.